Nation states take fire sale attacks from fiction to reality.
This is one that I think I started, and I almost feel crazy for bringing up in the fact that I used to make so much fun of a fire sale. Do you know what a fire sale is, Mark?
From our discussions, I finally do, but I have to admit I have not seen Die Hard
He has
5
not
or whatever.
seen Live Free and Die Hard. Come on,
sorry.
guys.
Forgive me.
Go back and watch the whole Die Hard series, man. You have seen the first.
I've seen the first one. It's my Christmas movie.
Yeah. Which is crazy. You're right. It is a Christmas series. But anyways, in Live Free and Die Hard, what at the time seemed like the biggest kind of sci-fi, oh God, they've taken hacking too far from a nerd perspective, was a fire sale. And in that movie, a fire sale was essentially, it was a cyber attack, but they attacked three kind of verticals of basically our existence. I think they went after finance, they went after stock market, trying to make our trust in economy and finance fail. They went after communications, telecommunications, and they went after, was it public utilities? Transportation. Yeah.
Come on, man. I haven't even seen the movie.
I know. I wrote the prediction and I forgot. But the whole point was they go after three pretty core systems of any, country or state at once. But it was also kind of a smoke screen, too. In some cases, their target was none of those. It was just to sow all this confusion so that when what they were really doing was trying to siphon billions of dollars or whatever, that would go sight unseen. And at the time, it just seemed a little crazy, a little too sci-fi. But if you think about it, all these separate aspects of a fire sale are starting to happen. I mean, financial systems, SWIFT. I mean, we've watched attackers specifically target banking systems. They've started. SWIFT, by the way, is one of the transaction systems that banks have been using for decades. I think it started with maybe an Indian bank that was on
Bangladesh. Bangladesh, I think.
Yeah, and they had they were on the same network as their neighbor company and no real firewall protecting their SWIFT system.
Yikes.
And the bad guys got into the bank, and then they could fake a bunch of SWIFT transactions while still kind of lying into the logs so that it looked like everything was hunky-dory. So we've seen them do that. We've seen attackers kind of short stocks by sending spear phishing to key people at companies. Mm-hmm. So financial system attacks definitely exist. Communications, we just saw, I think you'll talk a lot about how communications can be mangled in another prediction, but we've seen people, knock down parts of the internet at certain times. Mm-hmm. We've seen a lot of propaganda using social media to sow a whole bunch of fake stuff that people believe.
Say it. Say the
fake
word.
News.
All
fake
right.
news. I hate to push something that some guy I don't agree with made.
Sorry, no, it's fake news.
Fake
You can say it.
news. There's something called fact, by the way. Anyways, it's pretty easy for them to poison our communication systems, take down our communication systems. And then as far as transportation, and let's add industrial control to that, turning utilities and lights off. While there's definitely been some rumored attempts. I think the Ukraine has had some power outages that were blamed on Russia. There's been some things that happened to the U.S. that haven't been fully attributed yet, but there's rumors that it happened. Our own FBI has warned us about the smart grid. There's airlines that have kind of lost their schedule due to some sort of computer mishap. So I feel like, as crazy and outlandish as it felt like in Die Hard 4 when I watched it, what was it, in the 2010s or whatever, that all the pieces are really there.
Are we not still in the 2010s?
I guess we are. In 2010. Okay. It was probably right around 2010. Okay. I think the movie came out. So 10 years ago or 8 years ago or so, I think it's possible now. And it's kind of scary to think about. And as we watch, some of the nation state escalations we talked about that could lead to a CN or to a UN treaty, this would be a good way to do a false flag attack, to sow confusion when as a nation state you are trying to do something else.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to watch for. What's our defensive tip for this one? Don't ride the bus?
I guess so. Really, I think what we want here is we want all these systems to really focus on cybersecurity. Security and complexity don't go hand in hand. We see a lot of industrial control systems starting to do interesting, innovative things like the smart grid, like these mesh networks. Mm-hmm. We see what we call edge computing, where even the tiny little small processors that used to be part of these kind of operation technology edge are starting to get smarter. They're starting to put more memory and more compute power there because the cloud can't always keep up. And as we're doing this for innovation, I love innovation. I love some of this new technology. We really, as citizens, need to hold the people putting this technology out there to the grindstone to do security by design. I don't want to slow down your innovation, but consider what this could do if we don't think about it. And that goes for the same for financial systems, who I think for the most part are a little ahead of industrial control.
You would hope so, but then again, we have banks that don't firewall off
we
their
have that
critical
Bangladesh
banking
bank.
infrastructure, so who knows?
Yeah. So I think we have to encourage, a lot of the time, these are people, we can't directly control, but we can vote with our pocketbook and kind of make sure the and people we go to are actually providing security in the products they give to us and services.
How a lot of utilities have you can buy green credits. Pay extra money to make sure your energy comes from solar power. Maybe we'll have like security credits. Or you can make sure that your energy was generated securely.
That would be a capitalist way to do it, though. That's essentially the company saying, all you people that can't afford it, you're on your own. If your power goes out from a cyber attack, too bad.
I just
should have had more money, buddy.
It's a terrible idea. I shouldn't have said that.
I don't think it is. I mean, I essentially said the same thing by voting with our wallets, but ultimately we got to think about it. I hate the fact that security is always kind of this roadblock to innovation. I don't want to be that, but we need to find this happy medium of making sure we're not shooting ourselves in the foot 10 years later.
Yeah. Hopefully we don't.